welcome. Thank you, Nicoletta. This is really such a privilege to be among young people, obviously.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think it's wonderful for them. It's a wonderful opportunity, to hear directly from you who you are, what you what you have done so far. And so it's Vesela Kazakova and Mina Mileva. First, just let me introduce them. Probably you have already read who they are and why they're here. They are two Bulgarian artists, among the most prominent names of Bulgarian cinema today, and not only Bulgarian, of course, let's say European cinema. Vesela, well, first of all, the name, as we say in Italian, actually in Latin, omen nomen, Vesela means merry, happy, and and I think, through your smile, you really embody your name. She's also an actress. Actually, the first time that I met her was in a sort of a cult movie a few years ago, Mila from Mars, from Sofia. I don't know if someone from Bulgaria is here in the audience. Yes, hello, Bulgarian people. Probably you have seen this film, or probably you have heard about this film, but it was really an independent film that raised to an incredible success, especially among festival audiences, and it was really a cult movie. And from that experience and from many other films where you starred, then you decided to go behind the camera, and actually it was quite recently, I think in 2007 or 8 probably.
12 even, yeah.
Okay. You decided with Mina Mileva, who's an animator and a filmmaker from Bulgaria, but now living in UK. So together they decided to create their own production company, Activist, yes, in 2008, their own production company, Activist 38. And from this name, Activist, I think it tells a lot about what they want to tell the world and about really what their cinema is about. So I would like to ask you, my first question, how you met, why you decided to create this company together, and so far you have always worked together, so why this decision, why this professional duo, which is quite rare, I have to admit. Because in the cinema world, there are lots of professional couples, twin brothers, it's usually 2 boys or 2 men, but 2 women is quite rare. So if you want to comment on that.
Actually, it is. Wow.
It is, yes.
Very interesting. Vesela, do you want to talk or shall I talk?
Just we fell in love.
Thank you for the wonderful presentation. It's everything really happened by accident. Activists, not that we want to be activists, it was that we made a film together with Vesela, and the Bulgarian television said, we're buying it, you need to make a company in 6 hours in order to make the screening. So we had to look through the dictionary, which word is the most international. So obviously we have to be A, because we want to be on top of the list. And then we saw activist. Interesting, okay. But then we Googled activist, it's all specific activism, LGBTQ, not bad, this and that. So we wanted to be more of an art activist, so we put the caliber 38, let's say. So anyway, I was in London for many years doing animation for many big companies. I actually started with short animations, went around the festival circuit once in my 20s, and then did a lot of commercial animation, and then Vesela came and said, why don't we do documentary? I said, why not? Let's do it. But then we encountered real problems. We had made one film which was really created a lot of trouble for us. We even had death threats, actually. Uncle Tony, 3 Fools, and the Secret Service. The film had the privilege to be selected in Trieste, which and many
among
other
others,
places.
of course. Yeah.
It was hopefully Variety noticed the scandal going on, and few others in Europa and other publications. So we managed to kind of get out of it safe, because actually it was very, very bad.
Allow me to interrupt you just to tell them probably, I don't know if you have seen this documentary, which was made in 2014, just to let you know what it was about. So it's the portrait of an animator, Antoni Trajanov, who was shafted by colleague Donio Donev, who took credit for Bulgaria's most loved animated films, and who actually was Secret Service. So it was a very controversial film, and it's really about how members of Soviet-era elite continue to exist and continue to exert their power in Bulgaria, and not only Bulgaria.
Very well said. And in fact, our second documentary was on the fact that most university professors and deans were, again, Secret Service informers.
Were a student of Trajanov?
Yes, I was a student of Trajanov, but even to this day, the dean of the Film Academy is a former member of the Secret Service, and he would not step down. Anyway, so this was really created political tension in Bulgaria. And then we decided, I said, poor Vesela, I mean, she's an actress and somebody is threatening to kill us. It's like, is this worth it? Let's just move on and try our hand at fiction, yeah? But Vesela really loves documentaries, so.
I don't know why we started with documentaries, because we come from, I did fiction films, Mina animation, but maybe maybe what attracted us most was the truth and the anger behind it. Because when I heard the first time this story about Uncle Tony, I said, but Mina, this must be done because nobody knows that. We have to do a film. She says, yeah, let's, it's really like, so sometimes the destiny comes to you and say you are going to make it because you could fight, you could be in the storm. I was thinking many years afterwards why we did the film about Uncle Tony and nobody else from the industry, because most of the people, they knew about the story, but kind of it was hidden into the small circles of the filmmakers. And I said, maybe because we are enough strong to do such films. And then we realized that we become more and more stronger and stronger. And this is our activist profile as filmmakers. It's like troublemakers more than filmmakers.
And you will see actually in all the cinema, both in documentaries and fiction, this activism has really spread on many layers. So it has really, it really means a lot, I mean, to the viewers. I think your activism is very representative of you as women artists, as filmmakers. Finally, I think you really represent this niche of filmmaking today, who really tackles very sensitive and delicate topics in a very artistic and original way. So it's very unusual to meet with this kind of cinema.
Thank you so much. Absolutely true. We decided once we took the decision, we moved to fiction, which is not an easy decision because the industry very often wants to segregate. If you're animation, stay in animation, stay in documentary, don't move. Fiction is big, fiction is expensive. It's not for women at the time. I mean, it's just all these things, and we learned that we need to be close to the reality. And this is the subject that really attracts us. And our first fiction was called Cat in the Wall. Cat hid behind the boiler and caused a lot of drama in my neighborhood, in my block of flats in London. And we just, again, like a joke, we made this film, very little budget, very little funding, because obviously Uncle Tony stopped our funding in Bulgaria. So we kind of decided to make an English movie without money. So we had an English producer. He said, how much have you got? We said 40,000 euros. He said, do you want to make a trailer? We said, no, wait and see. And we actually managed to make the bulk of the movie on this money. It may sound very strange, but I would encourage you to never be stopped by financial reasons, because many things can be done, and maybe our background as an actor, animator, this and that, you can really do a lot, and everyone will tell you you're crazy, but then at the end they go, oh, okay, it worked. So this is how Cat in the Wall then went to Locarno official selection, which was apparently a big trampoline. We didn't realize at the time. I still remember sitting in London at this birthday party and talking to someone, said, we are selected in Locarno. And she said, what? And this was Rosa Bosch. This is a famous person from Spain. She was very fundamental for the Mexican New Wave, Iñárritu, all these guys. And she said, do you think you're going to a mountain trip? What? Who is your sales agent? I said, we don't have one. What do you mean? Come to my house, let me give you a lecture. So Rosa sat me and said, first you do this, second you do this, and then I'm very thankful for this lesson. You weren't there, Vesela, but
it's not enough to make a good movie, actually.
This was so funny. It was true that securing in the month remaining from to the announcement to the festival, we managed to get, funny enough, Italian sales. So
yes.
They are called Coccinelle, Rome-based,
yes.
Francesca Breccia. She did fantastic sales. Nobody heard of Coccinelle. It's like she sold the film immediately to the whole of Spain, for example, before the premiere.
Yeah.
So this was a great success story, because Rosa Bosch said small sales work better, and you don't have to be with the big. Obviously, all these lessons we learned.
Cat in the Wall was also very peculiar, because you're both Bulgarian, and in spite of the fact that you decided to move to London many years ago, still maybe it was not so easy like to set the story in London. For instance, UK is not your country, so probably you're full of images of your country, so it's not so easy to shift like the set of a film in another country. And what you really did in this film was to portray also the, maybe not the working class actually, but the poor neighborhood in London, in the suburbs, during Brexit or during the Brexit process, in a way that not even English cinema did. So actually, I haven't seen so far any film on Brexit, but really tackling all the consequences and all the difficulties of this period. And 2 Bulgarian filmmakers did it, which I find it extraordinary. And so would you comment about that and about the fact, that you decided to set the film in UK, and how was the experience? How was it, to shoot in UK?
It was funny, a German critic very gleefully wrote, no wonder there is Brexit if 2 Bulgarians still can launch his job. But it was really critically acclaimed, Cat in the Wall. But without Vesela, I couldn't, so I knew the ground, but she's very sensitive on, for example, on takes. We do a lot of rehearsal, a bit like a theater. And once we start shooting, we have many takes, and she doesn't need to see the take, she needs to hear it. And she goes, oh, okay, it's the 5th take worked. And this is an extraordinary ability. And also your sheer power in kind of convincing people. I'm a lot more shy, in fact, on set. So I couldn't do it alone.
What happened in Cat in the Wall was very interesting, because first of all, we started with argument between the locals because of a cat, with the political idea that the immigrants are not welcome into this country, because this was the whole aim. But then during the developing the story, Brexit started to appear, and the referendum was kind of almost before we start shooting. And then we invented few scenes which are kind of documentary background of the whole story. And at the same time, in the block that we wanted to shoot, it was Mina's own apartment actually, that we made the set, and the crew lived there, and also we filmed there. it was really like very interesting. They started to renovate the block. At the same time, we started shooting, and then we said, okay, we have to use the whole opportunities. So maybe we could show something, I don't know. And
Maybe, yeah, sure.
Yeah, and it's a wonderful, I mean, this is interesting because although it's not a method like to use what is around you and you englobe it, you know, in your own film, this is really a wonderful example, I think, for all of you. If there is anyone among you that wants to make cinema, this is fantastic. This is how they take the real elements of real life, what they have, even the, you know, the misunderstandings, even the obstacles, let's say, they are not obstacles anymore. So they adapt to reality, and actually this reality makes it, you know, it becomes a part of the film, which is fantastic.
I would say the film wasn't so much for Brexit as much as for this injustice in London. They have this, they're milking the working classes in a way that you buy a small apartment and then they present you a bill of £25,000. Why? Because they have to renovate bits and bobs, and this is the usual racket which happens to the so-called flat owners, which are not from the wealthy areas. And this was the social topic of the film. So this is actually building. You can play it. We can play it without sound
this is,
or something.
I think it would be in the
Okay,
end.
so let's see a clip of the film.
The scandal with the cat, yeah?
Which is all shot in one apartment, okay, with some, I mean, sets also outside the apartment, but all in this block. So also from the filming point of view, very interesting. I mean, to film in a one closed space.
Yeah,
A bit
so
like
the scandal on the door was completely scripted with actors and everything. And the other will do, here it is, yeah.
Go and get the fucking cat! We did steal it! Listen to what he says!
The cat was on the stairs.
It costs £10, yeah? It costs £10 to get a cat.
Okay.
£10 to get a cat. But laugh, you're fucking teething!
Right, now go get it. The cat was upstairs. Go get the cat right now.
Go and get it! And you stop. Are you being serious right now?
Arsehole.
What's going on here? He's taken the cat. You guys have taken our
The cat
fucking
was
cat.
here on the stairs.
Are you crazy?
Wait
a minute.
And we
What
only
do you
kept
mean?
it warm and fed.
Yes, this is... Get our cat! No,
Okay,
get
stop
your
screaming
cat
at me.
out. No, what do you mean? Stop
Go get it. Go get it.
it.
He called me again.
No, he's saying go get it. Not shut up. Fucking cat.
Whoa. What are you doing?
What do you mean?
What do you think, mate?
Give me back my
You taking our cat?
Give back the cat.
This is ridiculous. Mate, go get the cat.
This is not... Go and get it.
Come
Go
on, get
inside
it.
and get the
Inside.
cat.
Get inside.
your cat. How to go up?
Yeah, get our
You're
cat now.
scaring my baby.
That's ridiculous. I'm on.
What are you talking about? That's ridiculous.
Calm down.
That is our cat.
Няма страшно, окей? Стой тук и спокойно играй.
Don't shout in my face. I just step back.
This is the cat.
Now, listen.
Right, legally I have to say this cat is ours, okay? Because we put a chip in it.
No, did you leave a note about a cat?
To whom? To whom?
Hey, can you fucking read?
Oh my gosh, who do you think you're fucking talking to? College. What racist? Go back to the country where you came from.
Racist?
Go back.
Where
Yes.
do you come from, huh?
Yeah, which country are you coming from?
I was born in Essex.
Give me back my cat.
Now
what are you
doing?
Can you bring my cat up?
Yeah, so it's a big scandal.
Basically, this is a real, everything is real events. It happened to me. And, but then the social line, which is this bill, payment of the bill, happened also in reality. And we'll show you a little, very tiny clip of how we used the documentary set. We were very lucky that these builders actually agreed to take part in the film, and we gave them £20 each. I mean, it's they were just nice, and they made such roles, honestly.
Massive shout out to Hamilton. Says morning, bro. Locked already in my lorry. By Olympic Park near Bow. Rewind. Trust me.
Joe, you got a rubbish bin, mate?
So this guy he speaks Cockney. You don't get anything. Need subtitles.
Don't look so worried.
No, it's just it's such a good. No, but it's such a good wood. It's shame that they could have left these ones.
It's all about
nothing-
maintaining them, that's what it is.
Maintaining, but that's still working. The others maybe
Yeah,
not.
but they're all about painting them and all that. You don't get around to painting them because they're too high up. That's what they're saying it for. You'll never paint them, would you? It's too high.
We explained to the guy that we aren't happy that they're demolishing real wood windows and putting plastic ones, and what's the significance of that. And the guy, of course, agreed. So he was a Cockney builder, but he did do his part. Anyway, this worked well, and we always try to incorporate, if the topic is fitting, try to incorporate real events. And for our next film, which actually made our biggest success so far, Women Do Cry, we managed to involve a real folk event into the film, but we can talk about this after. You can stop this. Yeah?
With Women Do Cry, it started with my family story and my sisters. And yeah, okay then. Okay, stop. With my sisters, we had a case in my family which was really embarrassing and very traumatized all of us, and we scripted. And at the same time, I invited my sisters to play. I'm an actress, and my sisters as well. So we are 3 actresses, and we actually play not ourselves, but kind of scripted thing on our story, which is very
borderline.
Yeah, and it was very interesting because we don't play ourselves. It's a role, and that's why it was kind of very wonderful process, and we took the whole team to the mountains. We decided with Mina just to have a ritual, some part of the film at the end, but it was not exactly scripted. Just we went there and we wanted to see what will happen. Of course, we knew that the sisters will be around the river, that maybe they will
the idea was
the river or something. We wanted
to have this bonding between the sisters. Most of them had no jobs. They were struggling on various aspects, so they had to unite as a family. And we thought this is a good setting for the whole family to unite the sisters to make a female bond of some sort. So we had this vague idea. We went to this place. We knew first we had to research because Stranja Mountain, you would know it, is a very mystical, very hidden, away community, and people who live there are not very inviting. And so we learned that many people have gone and tried to film there, but apparently they weren't very welcome by various people and things. They like to think of themselves as closed community. Somehow we managed to warm up to them and back and vice versa, and they really loved our group. The mayor of this village put us in the mayor building to sleep, and then suddenly Jerome, who is taking pictures, was our real handyman carrying heavy luggage. Of course we had other crew as well, but also he was put on one of the cameras because we knew once we have 200, 300 people for this ritual, we're gonna need a lot of people running around. And this wonderful mayor said, actually we give Jerome one of the icons for the main procession in the ritual, which is a great honor. And we said, you can't, because he's carrying our bags. He can't be doing this. We don't have enough people. And he said, you can't refuse it. This is Constantine and Elena, the biggest, nicest icon. And the idea is that you become mature, enter manhood, and all sorts of things. And this fitted really well to our
And
script.
we've heard the legend. The legend was that only men or boys who are becoming adult, they could carry the icon, but not girls or women. And we said, okay. So
Here is a
we
catch.
told the actress, and we told her the HIV, she goes to this mountain to heal herself, connected with God and everything. So we asked her, so Jerome is he was given the opportunity to hold the biggest icon into the ritual. Just you follow him all the time and ask him to give you the icon. And we're going to follow you with the camera, and let's see what will happen. So it was really very disturbing for everybody because it's a very special ritual. Yeah. But we were there, so the actress is Maria Bakalova, who actually after the film became Oscar nominated. But only two of them, they did a lot of improvisations in order to have this scene with the icon, and it was a very special moment.
While you're looking for the clip, probably I take the time to give them probably a little bit of an insight into this film. This film was shown in Cannes in the section Un certain regard in 2021. And I think it was really a peak of your career. And this film is very important. It shines a light on everyday experience of women confronted with their own fragility and vulnerability and the absurdity of life. But at the same time, I think it has a very important political level and element. So you really tell the story of this family, and I think family stories appear in your cinema. I mean, almost in every film. So the family and the family bonds are very, very important. So you always start from there, actually to speak about the society around them as a microcosm. And you see here there's a family story, so many sisters, and the father too, because the father plays a very important role. But at the same time, it's a film about Bulgarian society, with all the contradictions of every society, but especially in Bulgaria. So you speak about the patriarchal society and all the, the struggles of women to be emancipated, to have, a social role and to be part of the society with all these contradictions.
And
so maybe
the interesting fact with Women Do Cry was at the same time when we started doing the film, the whole country was in a big protests about the Istanbul Convention, about the domestic violence, and we also have few scenes in the film. During the protests, we were arrested. During one of the scenes, we wanted to make a very important scene amongst many other people, which were real protesters. So it was.
Just to explain, Istanbul Convention is this piece of law which Europe introduced for protection of victims of domestic violence. And most countries have accepted it. Bulgaria has not, and maybe a couple of others.
Yeah. And by the way, it was one of the first films coming from this area, let's say, the Southeastern Europe, that it's set against the backdrop of violent anti-gender equality protests. So it also has many elements of, LGBTQ plus elements that are so rare in this kind of cinema coming from this geographical area. So it was one of the first films that, created a debate and a discussion on this and about the rights of LGBTQ plus people. So it's a very rich films, a multi-layered film that has many stories, many characters, and finally many messages. I mean, I don't like the word message connected to cinema, but in this way, I think I can use this word.
It caused a lot of crying, which was very interesting, because we were thinking, maybe it was touched a lot of nerves on many levels. and different generations. For example, the
Yes.
teenage audience were crazy about the film, which we didn't expect, because we were thinking it's mainly like 30, 35 women, but then suddenly it's all ages were covered.
We had incidents of school kids breaking into the cinema because it was 16 plus, but they kind of, in Bulgaria, they managed to get in younger ones. I don't think it should be 16 plus, but anyway.
Yeah, and the scene with the icon, it's a big, long scene, so we'll start maybe from, so.
Георги, много е важно, наистина е много важно. Ще ти се скара някой ли?
Ти въобще не разбираш.
Не, ти не разбираш. И си много малък още за да разбираш. Какво жената е някакво дяволско нещо? Защо не може жената да хвани иконата? Виждаш, че има проблем по пътя. Това знаеш ли, що се случва? Хайде си ти се сам. Защото ние при тебе мястото е при мене.
It's total improvisation in the car.
Хайде, дай ми малко, дей.
Трябва да я пазя, за да се оженя. Това е какво трябва да направя.
Ти в момента искаш да се жениш.
До година.
Добре, аз ще се оженя за тебе до година.
Не.
А ти не искаш да се женя за теб. Ми то така, като гледам, вие тук нямате много млади жени. Вчера, докато правихме курбана, така ми казаха хората. Ето, аз ще се оженя за теб.
Въобще няма да се оженя, ако вземеш иконата.
Аз ти обещавам, че ще се оженя за теб.
Въобще не разбираш.
Защо? Обясни ми.
Всичко съм ти обяснил.
Нищо не си ми обяснил, само се
Не
дръпчеш.
можеш да я пипнеш.
Средностатистически тапак.
Трябва да се отклонявам от задачата.
Yeah, so.
I have a question for you, Vesela, but you can both answer. In this film, especially, but also in your previous films, you usually combine professional actors with non-professional actors. And in this case, well, you had, as you said, your sisters who are actresses, all but one, I think. One is not an actress, if I remember correctly.
All of them.
Okay, and of course professional actresses like you yourself. Actually, you decided to play one of the main roles. So this is one of the questions. Why did you decide to play this role and not just to stay behind the camera? And then you decided also to ask Maria Bakalova, who's a star today, to play one of the, actually the younger girl who discovers to have HIV. And can you tell us something about your method in this combining professional and non-professional actresses, and how you decided to work with them? Actually, how did you cast them? What was your method with them? Did you make many rehearsals? I know that it was, lots of improvisation, but did they have any kind of, script? And so can you tell us something about really the work with the cast, with the actors?
There was not the question that I'm going to play in the film, because we are three sisters and that was scripted like this. So my twin sister had a baby with postnatal depression. My older sister with two daughters, sisters. So she played the mother in the film, and I played the sister, which are very activist, LGBT representative, also with against the Istanbul Convention, all these things, supporting the Istanbul Convention. And that was not a question that they are going to play in the film, but only was very difficult with my niece because she refused to play in the film because it was very emotional part of the whole casting and everything. Then we decided to do a big casting for the youngest character. And because I graduated a few years ago, I didn't know the young actors. We didn't know them. We did massive casting with a lot of people, maybe hundreds. 150 girls, and we had a casting director, and we gave them improvisation scene. We have this scene in the film that she smashes the laptop and everything. She becomes crazy after she learns that she is HIV infected. And they were so wonderful performances and improvisation, and a lot of confession about their women's intimate stories, because we also provoked them to say something which is secret, and we kept this only between us, so we never showed to anybody this thing. It was only for the casting. It was very interesting process, and then we chose Maria. So Maria was out of our family.
Would have been interesting out of the 150 if we chose another one. But we had 5, let's say, finalists, and then how we got Maria is very lucky because she was nobody. And then obviously 1 year later, while we were shooting this, she said, they're asking me in London to this casting of somebody called Sacha Baron Cohen. I'm like, oh my God, don't tell me that. It's like she
became famous with Borat.
She had no idea who, and this was like, come on, this is big, this is gonna go somewhere.
Anyway, it was, first of all, we rehearsed, of course. We rehearsed. Also, we talked a lot, and it was a matter of trust. Because of the vulnerability, a lot of emotions, a lot of personal stories could come out with this. Everybody just, of course, it's we are revealing some stories from our own family. We are inviting people to come into our bathroom, into our bedroom. Everything is very open, everybody's naked. So.
And regarding the work, actually, I'm very thankful that Vesela always insists on actors, always. If there is possibility to get an actor, we must find such an actor. Of course, the non-actors are in cases when we find something spontaneous, we change the scene for the next day, but everything has to go through some sort of rehearsal. And this is how, through a lot of rehearsal, we reach the point where it looks documentary. It's very interesting because at first it's scripted, then it starts to loosen up, and then it becomes free.
For example, our editor, she's great. She must deal with a lot of material in order to edit a scene, and she said, look, when I see it, it's something that it's kind of appearing right now. is happening right now and just caught it, and I see that there are 10 takes. Then this is interesting because you can, for example, we have this gynecology scene, gynecology scene.
Yes.
Yeah, this was actually picked by Variety for our sort of Cannes presentation. It's not an easy, I mean, it's kind of very harsh scene, but he had to play this gynecologist who is very rude, very macho, etc. And we chose an actor who is known for fringe acting. So he's a very special guy who really, like everybody said, this guy is the real gynecologist. I mean, it's no way he could be an actor.
There was this scene, because I'm trying to avoid the sex scene.
Here it is, that you can play here.
This is a professional actor.
If you don't show a sex scene in the morning, what have you shown? Nothing. I mean,
Боли, сърви какво?
Боли ме, сърви като секрет.
Секрет има.
Да, неудобно ми е, много срамно.
Ами, няма какво неудобно да има. Вие сте дошли на гинекологичен преглед. Чао.
Чао.
Лека. Добре. Съблечете се, ще ви вземе вагинално секретче. Ето там, отзад. Цикъла как е?
Нормален.
Нормален.
Докторе, само трябва да ви кажа, че съм серопозитивна.
Какво?
Носител съм на вируса на ХИВ.
Я ставай. Хайде. Ставай, чакат ме пациенти, ставай и се обличи. Има организации, занимават се с това, ще отидете, ще кандидатствате, има специализирани кабинети. Аз не мога да ги прегаждам тук. Хора ме чакат отвън, имат рак на маточната шийка, имам днеска имам преглед.
Но нали вие сте гинеколог?
Аз съм гинеколог, да, и се занимавам с гинекологични проблеми, а не с някой, който се уложда под път и над път. Моля да пуснете кабинета. Демокрация. Това ви е демокрацията на вас. Либерали. Айде, какво става там? Айде.
Добре, сега няма ли да ме прегледате?
Съжалявам, не мога да си цапам инструментите, моля ви се
Да си цапате инструментите! Доктор Василев, аз също чакам...
Абе, чукате се наляво надясно, след това идвате ми се мъкнете тук. Айде! Разгащена работа! Кой се чука? Вие се чукате!
А вие не се ли чукате? Какво? Като сте доктори, какво ви става? Нищо не ви става!
Пускай кабинета! Пускай кабинета!
Какво? Курва ли съм, а?
Абе, момиче!
Плюс това, хип не се предава!
Ами излез, кажи го на всички! Кажи го на всички, че си с хип!
Вие доктор ли сте?
Излез, кажи го!
Леле, мой!
Айде, кажи го на всички!
Как го хайде да си ходим? Няма да ме прегледате! Няма да се
Заповядайте.
Аз държа да ме прегледате,
Вие може да държите много неща.
Аз искам да ме прегледа. Тя има право с всички останали пациенти. Чувате ли да си ходим? Той не е за тази професия.
Вие каква сте?
Проблем.
Каква сте вие?
Прегледахте ли я?
Не съм прегледал и няма да прегледам. Вие кажете каква сте.
Аз съм колега.
Колега?
Да.
Ами като сте колега да ви дам да прегледате вие тогава.
Ами... Хайде да си ходим вече! Защо казваш, че си с ХИВ? Защото той не си сложи ръкавици!
Няма да казваш на никой, чуваш ли ме?
Не кажа на всички!
На никой няма да казваш. Ти имаш право да не казваш.
So this was a very interesting sample from Women Do Cry, actually, you know, on what it means, I mean, to be women today. And it's really about this féminin, masculin that permeates all the film. So maybe it's the time to ask you if you have any questions for Mina and Vesela. And if you do have questions, maybe we can pass the microphone around. Any questions over there? So wait for the microphone, please. Over there, over there, over there, over there. Raise your hand. Okay, there are no microphones? No. Can you come here and I will give you my microphone? Yeah, no, but we are recording the session, so thank you.
Hello. I was just curious, thinking of the scene with the icons. Is there any connection with God exists and it's called Petrunia?
Yes, there is a bit of connection since the famous Macedonian film our friend is quoting is we have similar rituals. So happy to see you. I think we've met when we had Uncle Tony, Three Fools and the Secret Service.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm glad to see you in good health and everything. It's really amazing how we have
regular attendees.
But yeah,
our faithful spectators.
Yes, the rituals are similar, and I mean, they're, I must say, Orthodox. Even though the word suggests it's more strict than the other Christianity, it's actually less strict. It's more connected to paganism, to kind of various other religions, and it's very much connected to nature. So yeah, Macedonia, Bulgaria, we cross over rituals.
Any other questions? If there are no other questions for the moment, I have another question for you, and it's regarding your working together. I know that this might sound banal, but you're two people working together. So I was wondering how you divide, what you do on set. I mean, who's behind the camera? Who works more with the actors, and the way you write and the way you prepare your film? So do you have, precise tasks, or you exchange roles? How do you work together?
I'm the eye, you're the ear, right? We joke.
Mina is like, so, also she studied scenography.
I come from fine arts, yes.
Oh, it comes on set, like whatever, like the little detail on set, costumes, even the haircut, also she does very good. Anyway, but all the things happen visually. I don't touch this thing. It's there, and I know that I can't do anything on this side.
When there is duo, there is often argument. So people ask, what do you argue about? And we used to argue more with the first films. Now we argue less because we know. And the main argument derives from the fact that Vesela is very good with acting. She hears it, the music. And very often, this cannot match a good picture. So then I push for the good picture for the less good acting. And then we learn to listen to each other and to counterbalance all the cons and pros of
and to
find the best. And very often I listen to her, because what turns out is that low-budget films are very often 60% sound. So don't be deluded by a nice picture. It doesn't work. What works on audience is this song, right? So Vesela once asked our cameraman, she said, I want to hear the film. So this is very interesting for casting a cameraman.
Absolutely. And was it difficult for you in your last film, to play and to be also behind the camera, I guess? I mean, to check the image and to be also the director of the film. Was it difficult to match the two roles?
No, because first of all, I love watching myself. I don't have any problem of it, and I like myself, and I could see the film thousands of times without any exhaustion. And Mina is more like, she doesn't want to watch it many times. So when we start working and we edit the rough cut, I watch it even every 2 days, and I change. Then I watch it again, so it's like 4 hours, sometimes 3 hours.
Yeah,
cut?
you will find out that once you finished your films, very often it's like a marathon, and the difficulty comes when you're so exhausted, you've seen it, and you don't know where you are. And that's when I really strongly advise editing consultants, sometimes even script consultants, who can watch rushes and can watch rough cuts.
With an external gaze.
Yeah, and participating in all these labs that you see around there, extremely smart people who can actually give you a hand. But in our case, I'm very lucky because she can watch until the end. Like, she has no exhaustion of her senses. This is very unique capability.
I don't know why is this, but it's kind of, for me, it's interesting.
And even we had, I think on one of the films, it was about to enter the DCP stage. She slept over and said, no, this scene needs to change place. And I'm like, God, I'm so tired. Are you really now going to change the place?
No,
of
the
the
whole
scene?
laboratory, they were in shock because we were about to lock the picture at the end.
And of course, it was the right decision.
But I said, okay, I'm going to watch it in the 3 in the morning, and then I will tell you 7 o'clock if we are, this is the lock, so we have to deliver to Cannes. And I said, let's see. But about how I switch from one, I don't know, it's just I go in front of the camera, I play it, and I go to the other side.
It's a natural process.
I don't know how to, I don't find it like different, but also Mina,
I don't think you had ambition in either of these things. You didn't have ambition to be an actor or director. She had ambition to be a sound person, actually.
to compose, to do sound. Everything connected to sound is, for me, like, maybe this is a dream that I will never achieve.
You never know.
But I never know. But it's interesting thing when my career was very successful, very striking, very fast, with many films. And when I started directing, I said, maybe I won't achieve such level of success. And with directing, we even went beyond, which is very interesting.
And now you can be a really famous composer next stage.
In your third life. And how are you perceived now in Bulgaria? I mean, after all these films, I mean, is the perception different? I mean, how is it? Because, I mean, in Europe, you're very well known among, European festivals, and not only festivals, I mean, since you got released in several European countries. So, I mean, after all these contradictions, especially in the way you were, welcomed and accepted in Bulgaria, has things changed?
I think I see myself that as more territories, better. Then it's kind of, you always see beyond the ocean. It's kind of, you see the horizon very far, and it's wonderful. If I stay in only my country, I would suffocate. I don't feel
think
well.
the bad thing which happened with Uncle Tony is that actually the film guild stood against us. And this gave very long repercussions, and we still today, if you see other Bulgarian filmmakers, you ask them about these two, they will say, not sure, there were some scandals, are they okay, I'm not sure. So we didn't manage to repair our reputation. But it's, at the same time, we're now kind of more, probably it's getting easier, but now it's 10 years since the scandal. So it wasn't very good. It's, I read about Anatomy of a Fall this morning and the scandal around the Oscars. She did upset the French film industry with her speech in Cannes. So this is what it happened to us without wanting it.
And I know that probably usually artists and filmmakers don't want to talk about their next and upcoming projects, but the truth is that Mina and Vesela also came to Trieste to pitch their new upcoming project. And of course, I mean, we don't want really to talk about it, but can you tell us just something, maybe a little something? Is it going to be a project that somehow is connected to the main themes of your last films? Is it going to be provocative somehow? if you can tell us something.
We're very happy to talk about it. The pitch was absolutely bombastic, thanks to this gentleman, actually, Jerome, whom you saw with the icon. So all the people, we were showered with meetings, and they said, oh, you did very well, but he did really great. So it was a bit of a joke, but this... Jerome, do you want to... basically, the film revolves around him. Again, it's an English film. Revolves around him being cancelled from his friends. You want to say a few words about this? Because it happened to you.
Maybe you can add a little something. You know, it would be nice. Why not? Hello.
Hello. I don't know what to add. It's about teenagers.
Why were you cancelled, first of all?
I was cancelled by my friends in England because I like women. That's the story. But it's they're making a comedy out of it. It wasn't like this from my perspective, but we'll see.
It was a tragic story for him. Basically, he arrived in England from Bulgarian school, actually from Russian school, loaded with different outlook on life, and so the idea was he had to immediately have friends, English friends. He got the best friends he could wish for, but gradually he started realizing that he's saying the wrong thing, politically incorrect things. For example, if you see his Instagram account, he wrote Hugh/man. Which is, in a way, it's human. It's mocking trans people, or you're provoking.
No pronouns.
Yeah. So there were various incidents in which he managed to build a reputation in which he was cancelled, and we want to observe this as in our, let's say, middle age, to see what this is about. And it's very interesting because we already gathered the cast, and the young kids are teaching us various things. They say, oh, cisgender has a different connotation, so for us it's a university. Yeah. And it's going to be humane and a nice film. It might provoke a few scandals.
You'll be cancelled soon as well.
Well, let's hope it will provoke debate.
The very head of Eurimash came beaming, and she said, I just love it, but just to be sure that you're going to have a few scandals, just hold on there.
But anyway, very much looking forward, to it. So, any questions from the audience? No hands raising. So if there are no questions, as I see, I think that we can say thank you, Vesela, thank you, Mina, for being with us, and thank you for your time.
Thank you, Nicoletta.
Thank you, Trieste Film Festival.
Thank you.
And very much looking forward to your next film. Okay.
I mean, it's such a pleasure to be moderated by you, Nicoletta. I mean, really, this is.